Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today for our Halloween look of the day, I'm going to be doing my annual mermaid look. I've done a mermaid look every single year that I have done this. This will be my 6th mermaid look that I am doing. So we're just gonna hop into it because this year is a little bit different. I've done like pretty mermaids, I've done spookier mermaids, and this time I want to do like a body painted mermaid. I've never done that. So I'm just getting this little sponge out here so we can get started on our base. I'm going into the Wet n Wild Fantasy Maker palettes. These are the little cream paints that they come out with every year. And I'm going into the blue shade here on my sponge. So I'm just going to load this up with paint and start just applying it like I would with foundation. So it doesn't have to be real thick or real opaque, but I do want my skin to just have like this really blue hue to it, almost like think Laguna Blue from Monster High. So now obviously I'm not going to paint my whole entire body this blue shade, mostly because I don't have enough blue paint for that. However, I am going to kind of scoop some up onto the sponge, and then we're just going to stipple it down to a point where we can kind of blend it so that it looks really natural, or at least, you know, as natural as it can look. So this is my tip to anybody who doesn't want to paint their whole entire body. When you get to the point that you're just kind of like, okay, I'm done with this, especially if you're doing like just normal, you know, Halloween party, Halloween makeup, just take it and kind of stipple it on so that in some parts it might be thicker, some parts it might be thinner, and then you can kind of spread and blend however you have to. I'm gonna throw some other colors in here too, so you know, if the blend on the blue gets really smooth, then you can always, you know, stipple in other colors too. The same brush, the same sponge, I'm gonna go into this kind of green color here and just start stippling this around. And you can do it in like a really purposeful way where it kind of acts the contour on the skin, kind of going down the throat here, on the chest. You can just kind of dab it all over with this sponge, especially if your sponge starts to get a little bit textured. Now using this green and the sponge, we're going to contour our face. So I'm picking up some of the paint, sucking those cheeks, and start dabbing it on. So this is just like my normal contour. I'm putting it in the exact same areas I would put like bronzer. So just around the forehead, and then we start the blend. So just work your sponge, work it in. Now for highlight, I'm going to go into the teal metallic shade that is in, this is a Fantasy Makers palette too. This is just the metallic series. And we're going to use this as our highlight. So I'm using an e.l.f. brush, an e.l.f. foundation brush. And as you can see, it just adds a ton of shine. So I'm going to go just around the eye and then right above our eyebrow. So just exactly where you would put your normal highlight, you're just doing with this teal paint, which will also very much match your new skin tone. You can always, you know, tap your fingers over top But I'm gonna go like down on my collarbones here. Even down my throat a bit. And, you know, make sure you're blending it all along the way. So I threw the wig on just because we're done pretty much with the skin and stuff. I might throw on a little bit of a different highlighter here in a minute, but for the most part we're done. So I just put on my like ombre wig. This I call this like my Hades wig because of the black and blue, but we're gonna mess with it in a bit to make it look a little bit nicer. But now we're gonna go and start doing some details. I want to add gills to the neck, so I'm going to take a matte dark blue shade and a pencil brush and start adding gills to my neck. So I'm just taking a little bit of blue, blending it, adding that gill. Now I'm gonna blend the edges out a little bit, but right now we're just laying it out. Now let's go on to the eyes. So I'm gonna take a medium matte blue shade and we're gonna go into the crease with this color. And I'm just laying it out with this pencil brush. We'll blend it here in a minute. And I'm bringing this way out so that it's nice and winged. And again, this is gonna be a trust the process sort of look, as you can probably tell. That laid out, I'm gonna lay it out on the other side as well. So we have it laid out. Now I'm just going to take a big fluffy brush that has nothing on it and we're gonna start blending out those edges. So start with the wing, making sure we blend it out so it's nice and soft on the end, and then work that blue around. Blue is hard to blend anyway, but you definitely want to, you know, take your time, lay it out and blend it if you want something really dramatic. And this keeps it from being patchy too, so just kind of work your way in circles across and out and then back in. Now that we have that all blended, I'm going into the Blue Moon palette from ColourPop, and I grabbed the wrong brush. I'm going into the color Blue Jean first. Sorry, Billie Jean, not Blue Jean. First, and we're gonna pack this on the inner half of the lid. This is a really foiled shimmery shadow, but it's a beautiful blue. It's very light and kind of like water. So then on the rest of the eyelid, we're gonna go in with Tide Pool. I'm using the same brush. So just packing that on the outer half of the lid and then winging it out. And just make sure you blend the middle. Now that we have that done, we are going to go under the eye with a bit of Daba D right here. And we're gonna go under the lid with this. And again, winging it up towards the hairline. So this is just, this one I would say is like a light periwinkle kind of indigo shade. Okay, and again, you can take just a blending brush with nothing on it, go right underneath and blend it out. So now for the brow bone, I'm going into the color Lumi from the Blue Moon palette. I'm just gonna dip my finger in there and we're gonna dab this all along the brow bone. This is a really shimmery white duochrome that has a blue shift to it. So it just kind of fits the look and the color scheme we have going on. so far. And then we're just gonna dot a little bit of it on the inner corner as well. So you can just see it looks really wet, really shimmery, really bright. So now we're gonna do the brows. I bet you were wondering when I would do those. And we are going to go into the color Fine China, which is this matte blue. And just fill in your brows however you see fit. So I'm just gonna do them like I normally do. For liner, I'm actually gonna use a liquid lipstick. It is this deep teal color, which you guys can probably see here. And this is what we're going to use for liner. So I just take one of my paintbrushes that I've either used for liner before, or you don't have to use one you've used for liner before. These ones are eye safe, by the way. Make sure your liquid lipstick is eye safe before you do this. But we're just gonna do a winged eyeliner. And it's nice because obviously the lipstick is wet, so it goes on very smooth. But I just take it right off the applicator, right off the little dough foot onto my brush, and then put it on this way because it's a lot easier than trying to just use the applicator. Contrast too, because this is going to dry down matte, where the rest of the shadows are really shiny. So I threw on a mascara and a little half lash, and my lashes are actually blue. I don't know if you can tell that from on camera, but I am just going to take a little bit of this Wet n Wild highlighter. This is the rainbow one, and I'm going into the blue side. We're gonna throw a little bit more highlight on. I don't feel like I'm shiny enough. So just blending this onto my cheeks, to the tip of the nose, and here, and here. So finally, our lips, I'm just going to use like a Tiffany blue shade. So this is the end of my siren look this year. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know down below. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.